What's up, creepers and geekers? Chris, the Atari Creep. How is everyone doing today? Woke up to this in my email, and it looks like there might be a lot to get to, so let's just jump right in. As always, we're just going to skim over the article, blog, whatever it's called. Go ahead and correct me down below on anything I don't actually read, okay? But the link will be down below for you to read it fully in case you don't get these emails. I'm pretty sure you do, but regardless, I promised every time there's an update, and here we are. Atari VCS plastics, thermals, and internals. A peek inside the engineering lab, factory, and the Atari VCS itself, along with some hints as to what's next. Here we go. Okay. So there's some cooling elements going on here. All right, well, that picture doesn't get much bigger on the board, and that's progress, I suppose. So the ongoing journey of the Atari VCS from mysterious tease concept to Indiegogo sensation to Indiegogo. I guess getting $3 million for a concept is a fucking sensational thing. I'll give them that. To fully realize product nearing mass production has been a long one, filled with plenty of twists and turns. Now, is it nearing mass production? Or is it in production? Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. There's still much to do before the team feels it can change the Indiegogo status from prototype to production. And you know what? That is 100% correct. And I'm not even saying that to be goofy. Going back to this picture here, this is the first rendition of the board according to them, and it's just a fact. Your feelings don't mean shit on this, okay? And I hate to be that blunt about it, but it's a reality that in technology, especially when you're coming up with a new product, it has to go through revisions. You put something together, you give it a try. There's going to be kinks. You have to work those kinks out. And you have a couple of revisions. You put it in front of a fucking test market or test audience or whatever you call it. You work things out, and hopefully, you get most of it worked out before it ends up in the consumer hand. And in that case, you have a lot less to deal with in the long run. If they just put this out and there's a lot of kinks to it, how many of those are coming back? Most of them. And that's going to double their cost. Atari is going to tank. You can't have that. And you can't have none of that. So it's going to be a lot longer road than they're trying to let you believe. I will say that, not to be mean or to be a prick. But that's just reality. You cannot deny that, and there's no argument against it. As we've always said, the Atari VCS is not like other gaming systems. I could make a joke there, but I'm going to leave it alone. It doesn't exist yet. It's meant to be your machine, with numerous capabilities that allow customization, personalization of both the hardware and the software. I don't know. I don't know tech stuff, so I'm not even going to comment on that either. Today's update blog refocuses on the hardware side and brings lots of photos and detailed descriptions covering the past several months of development that we're excited to share. Meant to be your machine. Now, I have to brag a little bit here. In my actual chosen career, which I'm retired from now, I used to do a lot of investigating, a lot of interrogating, a lot of language deciphering. You know, people try to be clever with their words. They want to get across something while being truthful, but twist it. You know, Jan is not an environmental engineer, okay? Meant to be your machine. Well, that's because they don't have a machine. They have the physical thing, but the software part of it, it's an open thing. So you make it what you want to be. It's the lazy way to go about it. Now, to some people, that may be gold. They're like, finally, a gaming console that I can get home and turn it into whatever I like, and that's great. I was told I was going to get a game console on day one, and that's a legitimate argument. You have to give them that. We were told one thing, and then they changed their mind, decided to go with this open sandbox concept, which I think is nonsense, but a lot of people seem to like it, and who am I to fucking tell them who am I to say anything about it? I just want a gaming console. I want what you told me you're going to give me, not what you changed it. And there's the twists and turns. The first thing we'll talk about, the photos, the PCB board we shared last time. Okay, so right here, this caught my eye. It's going to have memory. We were complaining about that, but in all fairness, we hadn't seen the bottom of the board, and we still don't have a picture of the bottom of the board that I can see yet. Yeah, this is all the top. So this is where the fan's going to go. I know you can't see my pointer, but that big gap right there. Okay, fair enough. We have some TV screens with some TV stuff. There's the cooling unit, shell. None of this means shit. Oh, you know what? Hopefully, yes. Okay, here we go. Here's I guess a blown up image of some of the other ones. So we have the top of the board on the left and the bottom of the board on the right. We have the ducts for the cooling system. Everything seems to kind of check out here. And on the bottom corner, we have the bottom of the board, and it shows memory. There we go. Mystery solved. Let's see. Temperature adjustments and all this stuff. Slight view slotted. You tech guys can look at all this. I see this and I say, okay, there's progress. That looks like a thing to me. You can read the tech stuff. I don't care about that. That's all up to you. So we got some pretty images here of actual manufactured parts. Looking good. Ooh, a machine doing something. Very technical. Buttons being pushed. Is it going to spit out a shell? No, it's just going to freeze frame. Oh, that's disappointing. You know what, Atari? You're the king of fucking blue balls. And I mean that in every sense of the way. This picture, the whole concept of this thing, has been nothing but blue balls. Hurry up and wait. Fucking, I want to see that spit out of the shell. Okay, so here we have some tooling stuff, some kind of a manufacturing plant, a bunch of people in blue coats. They're in blue. You go with the blue ball theme. I like seeing this. I would like to see a piece of plastic popping out of it, but I recognize what this is. That's going to close up. Some hot plastic is going to be injected in there, and it's going to pop out something that looks like what we want it to look like. So we're talking about, let's see, VCS system. Meanwhile, all the same things, blah, blah, the joysticks. I don't care about any of that. We already know all about that. You can read it for yourself. More design shell stuff. Looks like a nice looking little dealio. You're probably wondering what happens. Oh, here we go. What happens when you turn on one of our pre-production Atari VCS units? To be honest, I hope fucking so. While these machines boot up using our Atari BIOS, they operate more like a computer than a fully functioning game system. I'm going to take exception to that and be aggravated. Because they told us it was going to be a game system, then they told us it was going to be a computer, and now they're telling us it's going to be a computer that you can turn into a game system. And here they're saying, well, it kind of looks more like a computer than a game system. Well, which is it? What is it going to be? To be honest, usually means, well, I got some kind of bad news, but it's not bad news. And they're telling us exactly what they've been telling us it's supposed to be. So, is the computer... What the fuck? I tried to be positive in this. I tried to be positive. So they're kind of like, it kind of boots up in a sandbox thing. Sorry, we'll work on that. When that's what it's supposed to be anyway, right? In other words, the Atari sandbox mode is fully functional. The machines will play games beautifully through the sandbox Linux or Windows installation. Custom Atari operating system is functional, but various consumer software elements, like the front end graphics interface, we teased at E3. you mean down the street from E3? I'm not reading any more of that. I fucking hate that. That aggravated me. I'm sorry. What a beautiful way to end this article. That is a sexy looking piece of fucking equipment. I will give you guys this. That is amazing. I think that would probably be the most beautiful thing on my shelf. If and when I ever get one, you know. Again, going on the positive side of things. And here we have it opening up in R-Base. Remember R-Base? You remember R-Base? All right, so here's 100%. Oh, wait a minute, what? Oh, hold on. I saw 100%. This is probably a good time to remind our Indiegogo backers of the participatory nature of their support. As we have stated before, the Atari VCS hardware early backers will be 100% finished. I would fucking hope so! Do you have to reassure your customers that the product they're going to get is going to be 100% finished and ready to go? But the software on these first units will be early access, exclusive, available to our community. Atari will be to our backups to help improve and enhance the VCS experience and all the great feedback and ideas. What do you mean? You're going to wait for us to complain about it before you change things? In advance of our retail launch in spring 2020, our goal, as always, has been to make sure that we ship our official products with the help of our biggest fans. Of course, we will provide many more details. The software directory. All right, so I'm done with this article. I'm done. That just spoiled it for me. But in all fairness, they're showing progress. There's something being manufactured that looked like tooling, that looked like the case itself. So I have faith that something is being spit out. But unfortunately, guys, with the good always comes the bad. And I genuinely wanted this to be a positive video. But I also woke up to a tweet from my buddy, Mr. Storm Surge, saying, I wonder what the Atari Creep is going to have to say about this. Again, the link will be down below to this article. We will just cover a few things here, and then I will let you go. Game over. Atari VCS architect quits project. Claims he hasn't been paid for 6 months. Retro console a mess. May never launch, sources allege. Take that with a grain of salt. I am too. So the guy's claiming that Atari hasn't paid any invoices. This I kind of skimmed over first. Yes, I went to the negative first. I wanted to be surprised in the other one, to be perfectly honest with you, since I thought it was going to be 100% a positive thing. But Mr. Wait, how do you say his name? How about this? I'm going to make a goof here. We're going to call him Galen Urso. And if you don't get that joke, that's too bad. He said he was hoping to see the project through. They haven't fucking paid their bill. Now, how does that work? Does Atari own whatever he created? I guess that would be on the contract itself. But is the contract void if they don't pay him for his work? So could he technically say what's in that blue board? You know what? Let's go back here. Could he technically say that thing right there is no longer Atari's and he's taking it back and they have to start at square one? I don't know. I wanted to leave you with that only because I'm a prick that way. And I was told by VJF1WXYZ that I am an Atari-hating bozo. And he's right. I absolutely hate what Atari's become. That's all there is to it. But you don't have to take my word for it. You read the articles. You gather your own evidence and come up with whatever conclusion you want. But I need you to remember one very solid thing, that your feelings don't mean shit when the facts are on the table. End of story. If the evidence and the facts are there for a specific argument, you can't argue it. And if you're the type of person who has spent $300 on something like this, that's fine. It's just, I wish you would be a little more vocal in the, hey, Atari, we want to hold you accountable. What are you doing for my $300? What are you doing for the $3 million that you've collected? And instead of just living off of pipe dreams and lollipops and rainbows, because at the end of the day, it's your money and you earn that money however you earn it, whether it be legal or illegal. You generally work for it, and you should have somewhat of a say without being too much of a dickhead as to how and what it's used for. And when you have a company that's tapping off of nostalgia and good feelings, and they've had no business being in the industry in which they're trying to tap into, and they make $3 million and they say, fuck, we didn't expect that to happen, and now they're scrambling in their pants. I would hope you would keep them accountable for it. And that's all I've been saying. Guys, I encourage you, please, go to my playlist. It's mostly positive. It's mostly excitement. And I feel fortunate that I didn't have the $300 at the time to put down on this thing. Because I would be fucking losing my mind, because $300 to this guy is a lot of money. Maybe to you it's not. And you're just like, it's only $300. And shame on you for feeling that way. Because that $300 could go to feed a lot of families. But Regardless, this isn't a social justice fucking channel, nor will it ever fucking be. But go ahead and leave your comments down below. Leave feedback, thumbs up, thumbs down. All feedback to the Creep is positive. We have some good, we have some bad. We'll just have to see. We'll wait until the next time. So, guys, I hope you're doing well. Thank you always so much for watching. I genuinely do appreciate it. And I do genuinely appreciate all feedback. And until next time, take care, keep it real, and bye-bye.